The Super Bowl, right? It's something that, on the surface growing up, like my brother and I went to Patriot games like our whole life. Like I've been going to games since I was 8 years old. My dad had season tickets. I had the pleasure of seeing Tom Brady throughout most of his dynasty on the second half. So the latter three Super Bowls, I saw a lot of the regular season games, the wild card, the divisional, the AFC championship games. Like I've been to so many games throughout my life, and the Super Bowl was always this like crazy mythical game to go to because it's just on this other level. There's 284 games that happen leading up to the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl is one of a kind. And it's evident just through even the process of going there. It's ridiculous. Like one ticket could cost thousands and thousands of dollars, not to mention all the other things.
What's the average cost of a Super Bowl ticket?
Average cost, I mean, you're looking at about $3,000 to $4,000 if you're buying aftermarket. I mean, if you can buy them from somebody directly without it going through StubHub or something like that, you could probably get it for about $2,000 at floor price. So that's 300 or 400 section. You're not going to be 100s, 5 rows from the field or something. You're going to be in the bleeders. But yeah, my brother and I just came back, and we actually went with two of our good friends. One of them is our top salesman, so we kind of offer it as a perk of the company. Is like, hey, you can either take this larger sales year-end commission bonus, or we can give you a smaller bonus and bring you to the Super Bowl. And then one of my best friends, he's getting married. He's a huge Eagles fan, and I wanted to give him the gift of coming to the Super Bowl with me, just kind of as my present. So he was stoked. And he's an Eagles fan, huge Eagles fan. So kind of worked out that the Eagles made it to the Super Bowl. But what's crazy is like we were able to go, not just this year, but we've been going every year for the past 3 years, with the exception of COVID year, because it was just it was a very weird Super Bowl situation. I don't even think they had like all the tickets, but I digress. So this is the second Super Bowl I've been to, third Super Bowl my brother's been to. And it's ridiculous to think about because for so long I always saw this game as being like this unattainable thing. You had to have tens of thousands of dollars and, put yourself like on a line, take a loan out to freaking go to this game because it's just so high profile. But, kind of relating back to what my brother and I do, which is we teach people about credit. One of the things we've been able to do throughout our lives is use it in ways that people don't think is possible, because credit is, it's this malleable source. It's this foundation that you can have so many different opportunities stem from it, in the sense that the way that we've leveraged credit throughout our lives has brought us to the point now where we're able to go to the Super Bowl and we don't have to spend thousands of dollars for the ticket. We actually get our tickets completely for free. And all we did was simply leverage credit to capitalize on an opportunity. One thing our dad always used to tell us growing up is that, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And, some may say that, we've experienced luck throughout our lives in certain cases. And I think everybody does to a degree. I don't think anybody's like dialed into the point where everything is just, working exactly how they planned. Sometimes things just happen and then they kind of get lucky or whatnot, but they're able to just simply capitalize on an opportunity. And for us, it was no different. Where I was a junior in college, so I was 20 years old, and my friend approached me and said, hey, she went to the University of Oklahoma, big sports school, and one of her best friends ended up getting a job outside of college when she graduated, working for an NFL agency. And this agency was a startup. So they were maybe 1 year, 2 years maximum in their startup phase. So, with any startup, even if it's an NFL agency, there needs to be access to capital to continue growing. And, as far as that industry is concerned, it's going to be paying for training for their players or being able to go out and scout, or connect with people or whatever it is. So there's a lot of areas that, money plays a role in the development of an NFL agency. So fast forward, my friend comes to me and says, hey, listen, my friend, she's working for this new startup agency. She's looking for access to, some capital to pay for this training. And at the time, I wasn't, the Credit Brothers didn't exist. Like, this is just me in college. But she had known me for a while at this point. She kind of knew what I was, into, and finance and curiosity and all that. So, like, we'd had some conversations. So she just said, hey, listen, I'm going to ask Josh and find out, if he knows somebody that could potentially, provide some capital to fund this training. That's what it was. This agent had a player, needed some training, and she didn't have the money to pay for it. So she asked me, she says, hey, do you know anybody? And I say, oh, yeah, no, I think I know somebody. How much money do you need? And she says, oh, about 20 grand. And mind you, junior in college, I was working minimum wage, IT department at the University of Connecticut, helping people fix their laptops, right before midterms or whatever. And I had about maybe $2,500 in my bank account, like total, like between savings and checking. Like most of my money was going to like festivities on the weekends, what college kids do. So I don't have that kind of cash, but what I did have was a credit card. And not only did I have a credit card, but I had a credit card with a $23,000 limit that I could use to actually pay for this training. And I knew that. And I also knew how to not pay interest on whatever balance I was going to take on that card. So, when she approached me with this opportunity, I said, hey, like, I know somebody, it's me. And she's like, what? And then I go on to explain her, and she's like, okay, I guess I'll put you in contact. And, I ended up paying for the training, and I got the money back, maybe in about 2 months or so. That's how long this person needed, before she was going to be able to pay me back. So it all worked out great. That was kind of the kickoff to the relationship. And, fast forward, it's just grown and it's developed. I've gotten my brother involved, and we've basically became, angel investors in this NFL agency that's, started to really pick up steam over the last several years. So now, fast forward, we get to reap some of the benefits, but it all comes back to my ability to use credit in a unique way that like most college kids and most adults would never think to use it, which is leveraging it when an opportunity presents itself for you to do that. But if I didn't have the credit card with that type of limit, I never would have been able to do that.